Hey, Mark here, and I have a really cool giveaway for you. I have 5 4K copies of the 2026 action thriller crime 101 up for grabs. And if you're interested in winning a copy, just shoot me a message back, Mark. I love crime movies. I love thrillers. I'm a big fan of Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, Halle Berry, and of course Chris Hemsworth. Black Hat, great movie. But yeah, so just shoot me a message and let me know if you'd like to win a copy of the 2026 crime thriller, Crime 101. The action thriller Crime 101 is now on 4K and DVD. Chris Hemsworth stars as an elusive jewel thief who eyes the score of a lifetime, but he must evade a relentless detective who is closing in on his string of heists. Also starring Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, and Halle Berry. Own Crime 101 now on 4K and DVD.
Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer. And joining me, Megan Hoffmeyer.
Sarah Newworth, DJ Valentine, Billy Business, and Brendan Peters. This is Nadia Boetes. This is Nathan Leahy. It's David Cross. It's Jake Lewitt. Norbert Morvan. It's Lisa Leahy. Joey Lewandowski. John Levingood. Professor Mike Dillon. Nick React. It's Niall Moore. Eric Hoffmeyer. It's Johnny Nunn. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a real interstellar hit beast. It's Niall Moore.
I would like to think I'm slightly more attractive looking than the interstellar hit beasts from this movie.
Interstellar hit beast. It's a good name.
It is. Yeah. Star Wars has bounty hunters. This movie has interstellar hit beasts.
Oh, I love it. This movie rules, Niall, and I'm glad we're covering it, and I'm glad that we're keeping our Star Trek series alive because I haven't watched this.
It's time to improve your knowledge of obscure 80s science fiction some more.
This movie's really likable. So Ice Pirates that we talked about, it was just they slashed the budget and no one gave a shit, and they just had fun, and it's a fun little movie. Flash Gordon was just they just ran out of time, right? And it's just an odd, cheeky, fun, good space opera. This one, I feel like this one had everything.
Quite tight.
Yeah, and it had everything it needed. I just went, yeah, really loud. But that means I completely agree. But I think this one had everything it needed. It only had 40 shooting days, including all the stuff with the green screen. The idea was sound. The director, this movie originally took place in a suburb, The Last Starfighter, but then they switched it to a trailer park to get it away from Spielbergian. And then they made it more like Frank Capra-esque and earnest, and then added some more humor and did a parallel story with a beta unit. And I think it's Star Wars and it exists because of Star Wars and Star Trek, but it's its own thing and it's fun.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that we spoke about with the Star Trek series. It's got a plot that makes sense as a plot, which is a great way to start with a movie. It's very easy to explain to someone what is the plot of this movie. Kid plays video game that is secretly a recruitment program for basically doing that thing in space. Okay.
Easy.
He gets the high score, gets recruited, hijinks ensue.
And it's great. He even wants to go home after he sees a dude melt.
Well,
he was like, I'm out. And the guy's like,
he probably watched Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
He was a teenager in the 80s. He saw face melting and he's like, no, I want no part in this. This is real life face melting.
There are some very funny jokes in this movie when he's like, if you want to go, you can go. And then all of a sudden he's like, you little brat. And he's driving him home. I love when he's like, well, if you want, I can stick my tongue in your ear. Like the beta unit.
That was the beta unit.
Yeah, that's funny though. And then he's like, all the other girls didn't mean anything. There's some good bits in there.
Yeah, where he's copying verbatim whatever I guess the jock or the football player is saying to his latest conquest.
And like Greg has the photo ops of him and his wife just taking selfies. They're taking selfies pretty much. And
yeah, he's ahead of his time.
And it's like 100 minutes and it's out quick. And Catherine Mary Stewart's great.
You just put it on and there isn't really any point where you're thinking, oh, okay, it's got a little bit slow here. What's going to happen next? It's all it's propulsive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like Lance Guest better as beta Alex Rogan than I know they wanted to, it's very Luke Skywalker. A kid stuck in a small town wants to get out, but he's working in the trailer park. He has to go to City College. He doesn't get his loan. He has an awesome girlfriend. He's good at video games. But like when he's like, oh, what am I like? I don't really like that opening bit, but I like it when he's able to have more fun, like beta Alex Rogan. And when he's in space talking about he's stuck within a big iguana, Like then I think Lance Guest really earns his paycheck in those
Yeah,
scenes.
I think and being able to consistently portray the difference between the two characters as well, something that can be challenging. You see it with there have been multiple cases of duplicates or doubles in various films. So being able to make it so whichever one was on screen, you knew which one it was almost
Mm-hmm.
without really having to think too hard. I think that is an underrated skill.
Who would have thought that a finished script would have helped and solid direction from Nick Castle would have, a finished script and organized
An
production,
organized shoot,
Who would have
finished
thought?
script. Obviously, they didn't have much of a budget for the
No.
effects and things.
Or time. I mean, they shot in 40 days, so it wasn't super comfortable, right? And they didn't have a big budget. They just made smart decisions with a good script.
But the thing is, I think when I first remember watching this movie, the pinnacle of video games were still 2D kind of, you had Mario, the likes of Mario, things like that. You didn't have the 3D game, even in arcades, you didn't really have 3D arcade games. So this was kind of a thing you see it on screen and it's like, oh wow, this is I guess you'd seen it with Tron as well.
Yeah.
But you're like, wow, oh, this is what a video game could be like. And I guess Star Fox came out around then, like in the 90s probably, which had very similar visuals to what the game was in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And listen, it doesn't look great, but I feel like you need to make a movie like this to get it looking better later. Like this was very much a test film for the technology that they were using. So I don't think that it like but you know what though? The fact that it looks the way it does gives it
It
character.
doesn't take you out of it.
No, it doesn't because it's solid all the way through.
Like
And
the effects, they're about on a par with, say, the Lawnmower Man or something like that.
that was 10 years later.
Yeah. Like the effects were very good for the time.
Yeah.
Like the 3D polygon effects were probably state of the art, where maybe it might have made sense to do miniatures instead, like Star Wars had done, like other things had done.
Yeah, it kind of
But
avoided that.
they went for it with the technology, and yes, it looks dated, but the whole movie is dated anyway. It's the 80s.
Look at Catherine Mary Waterston's hair in this, and you'll know it's dated. And no offense, Stewart. I'm sorry, Catherine Mary Stewart's hair. Like that's the most 80s hair on the planet. So yeah, the cars, the way it is, but I don't
The
know.
car, even the car,
Oh
with
gosh.
the space car. So the guy who designed that was apparently the original designer for the time machine in Back to the Future.
Yeah, what Cobb?
Before they brought in the DeLorean. And you can kind of see a lot of influences between the two. The little folding in wheels to
Yeah.
the flying car, even the shape. It's got a lot of similarities to. I wondered, did he draw that? And then Zemeckis just said, "Oh, that just looks like a DeLorean. Let's just buy a DeLorean."
And then he saved money by getting a DeLorean. Oh, I love that. And also, Ron Cobb worked on Aliens, and some of the designs of spaceships were from concept art from Aliens. So when they were
It
making
makes
this
sense.
movie, he was like, I worked on Aliens. I talked to Jim. I was like, hey, Jim, can I use this? He's like, yeah, it's fine. So then he just took concept art from Aliens, and some of the spaceships were created from that. But
I
that,
could see those gun stars being, USMC, whatever, the USMNC or the what's the in Alien, the Marine Corps, whatever they're called.
oh, the Space
Space
Marines.
Marines. Yeah.
Yeah,
I could see the Space Marines having those as their fighter wing.
yeah, I have a quick question too. So this guy gets really good at Starfighter. Would you and I just become darts champions? Like, would we? Because when Niall and I met in Korea, and I had the high score for a long time, and then you got the high score. Do you think for like bar, like, I mean, we're not professionals, but for drunk dudes in a bar playing darts, because could we have been recruited into like a dart corp? Were we good enough for that?
Um, I don't know. I've seen a lot of guys put away far more beers than us and throw better darts than us in bars around the world.
Yeah,
I'd
it's true.
say we were average at best,
Got it.
but it was good times.
We still had the high scores. Is there a game that you got good enough to maybe be recruited?
I don't know. The one that I actually did try, for. So, and there is a movie about it. It's life mirroring reality is Gran Turismo, where
Oh,
they had the in-game thing where it's like if you're good enough, you will be recruited to drive a real race car. So I remember when that happened, it was around, I think it was Gran Turismo 4, maybe. They had this whole event where it's like, okay, you do this thing, we will take the top 10 or 20 people and let them try, move on to the next round or whatever. I was not good enough at it, but it was something that harkened back to this movie where it was like, oh, you could be good enough at a video game and then succeed and get to do that thing in real life. And then they've made a movie about that, which I haven't actually watched yet. But
it's fine. Good cast. It's fine. I would have done Driver for PlayStation. I could do entire levels on that game and not get hit once. Like I just knew how to. I kind of mastered
that's
that game.
challenging. The movement in that game was awful.
That's probably why that means I'd be terrible then, unless I'm in a Driver universe where the movements are the same. But I actually mastered that on PlayStation. I got really good at Driver, so I would.
That's an obscure claim to fame right there. I got really, really good at the 1997 PlayStation 1 game Driver.
And I was really good at NHLPA 95 for Sega. I used the Vancouver Canucks, but I don't think I would be sucked into a hockey world. I don't think it
No,
works like that. So
no,
yeah,
I think it has to be something where the skills are actually transferable.
I get sucked into a hockey world and I'm like, all right, go play. Like, yeah, I can't. Now, can you picture me skating?
I don't know, you are a bit gangly. I'm
Yeah,
not sure how.
no, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it at all. But okay, getting back to this movie, there's just so many. There's just so many funny lines. Like I love when it's like there's this beat here. He's like, hold it. There's no fleet, no starfighters, no plan. One ship, you, me, and that's it. And then Greg goes, exactly. Zerd thinks you're still on Earth. Classic military strategy, surprise attack. And then he goes, it'll be a slaughter. And then Greg goes, that's the
Yes.
spirit. I love, yes, one gun star against the Armada. I've always wanted to fight a desperate battle against incredible odds. Like there's good lines in this movie. Like,
Well,
return the
it
money.
just doesn't take it just doesn't take itself seriously.
No,
But it doesn't also devolve into parody.
ice
It's kind of
pirates.
yeah, exactly. Therein is the example from this very year, I think. Was it 84 as well?
Yeah, 84. I was looking through 84. I think it's the greatest year ever for fantasy and sci-fi, just in terms of numbers. So there's Buckaroo Banzai, Starman, Last Starfighter, Dune. There's Ice Pirates, Repo Man, Night of the Comet, and then there's like Runaway and stuff like that. But then there's the Terminator. There's the Search for Spock. There's Gremlins. There's Ghostbusters. I mean, this is a
It was a
stacked.
fairly heavy hitting year.
Yeah, I think it might be the best year ever for sci-fi fantasy. Just we're not talking. I don't think it has the greatest of all. Like, it doesn't have a Star Wars, but I think when you have Ghostbusters and Temple of Doom, Gremlins, like Search for Spot, like that's a good year. Even like Splash has a mermaid. That's kind of fantasy. Terminator, like I just think like even Conan the Destroyer. Like it was a good year for sci-fi. That kind of
Yeah.
makes like, and this is our third
Well,
film in this series that's been from
that's the
84.
thing. It's in I don't know, do I just not watch as many random movies as I used to, or are they just not being made? But it seems like the 80s was really prime. Let's make every wacky sci-fi thing we can possibly make and see what sticks.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Whereas nowadays, you don't really see much science fiction outside of kind of giant tent poles. The likes of Dune, for example, which is based on a book and has been made 3 or 4 times in various media.
But
Blade Runner
even
recently.
even this Dune though, Denny Villeneuve's Dune, it's grounded for sci-fi. Like he made it very accessible for non-science fiction lovers
That
to
said,
enjoy.
I'm quite excited to see Project Hail Mary when that comes out in a
Yeah.
few weeks.
Yeah. I just listened to I just did an assignment for Audible. If anybody's listening, you can go to fandom and I did a promotion for the audiobook for Audible. I
Oh,
wrote
nice.
a script that's going to be split up and sent across all their socials. So yeah,
Well,
that looks like hard sci-fi, and then like
yeah.
nerdy sci-fi, and like
Well, the book's nerdy.
yeah, and there's no like there's nothing that's unabashed. Like I think sometimes some of these movies are just unabashedly earnest or nerdy. You know, you not nerdy for lack quote unquote, but I mean you're watching Last Starfighter. Like
But
Buckaroo
that was
Banzai
the
is just
80s as well.
yeah, that's true. But there's also
It
like
it
Repo
had
Man.
the you didn't have the cynicism that's kind of creeped in more modern times.
Yeah,
Your
but
heroes were allowed to be earnest and be this kind of virtuous, good person. They didn't need to have a tragic, dark past.
has there just been a good maybe Ant Man? I know
Maybe.
I know he went to jail and has a daughter, but it's played for laughs. But Thor, no. Captain America, no. Tony Stark, no. T'Challa, no. Doctor Strange, no. Dune, no. Even though that was never the source material.
I mean, I
Even in
guess
Star
the
Wars,
most
they had to
recent
make it
one,
cynical. They had to make Star Wars cynical.
Superman, the most recent one is probably the least cynical Superman that we've had in a while.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. And he's called punk rock for being not cynical.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's not what that means.
we've definitely gone a long way from that. And I think that's why a lot of the listen, nostalgia is a powerful thing. And also it was a different world where you could rent videotapes and they played on cable all the time. So I think it was
Yeah,
a
so
different
these movies I would have seen umpteen times because they were the ones that the likes of TNT would just throw on a random Saturday and be like, oh, I'll watch this.
and you could though. Like you could just blast through it because it's just fun and earnest. And that's what I think are the most rewatchable movies though. I think for me, when it comes to movies that I like to watch a lot, there's like back in the day, I used to watch A Knight's Tale. I used to watch Evolution a lot. And those are two movies that are just super laid back and all the problems are solved in about 3 minutes. So I like that. I like that, you know, this one with the beta unit, when he comes down with the girlfriend, he eventually tells the truth. He's like, oh, my bad. And then he goes back. Yeah, this thing moves at a lightning quick pace. So I think that's also what makes them more watchable is the lack of cynicism in them.
Yeah, I think so. They are upbeat, I guess would be the word I would use. They're very it's always a happy ending.
Yeah.
Even the character who died to supposedly give him a big kind of shaky moment, he came back in the end as well.
He's
It's
had to
like, no,
heal.
no, no, I wasn't dead. I just needed a rest and a sit down. And now I have a pile of money to sleep on.
Well, he had to merchandise all that stuff by Christmas. You know, he had to get it all
Mm.
out there. But also, I mean, look at the '90s with Generation X. At least here in the states, it became much more pithy and independent. Like I think the late '60s, '70s leaned into a lot of more realistic kind of tendencies, more like the French New Wave or Italian Neorealism. They were, you know, I think American cinema finally opened up and it became kind of cynical. But then Star Wars happened, and then the '80s with what, um, oh gosh, Ronald Reagan and just kind of that era of like I don't know, big fantasy movies and stuff like that. Like it was a little bit more earnest and open. And then the '90s happened and it just became much more cynical once again. And I think Scream
Well,
with
you
all the
had grunge
yeah,
and that whole kind of movement going on, and then
meta.
Scream, like you said, with the meta humor, the meta commentary.
And like the early 2000s are pretty aggressive with Corn and Limp Bizkit and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, as the streaming channels happened and all that kind of kicked off, and then superhero films, and then it just yeah, it became very dour there for a while. So I wonder if it. I mean, it could swing back. I mean, Hollywood works in cycles, so I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the 2030s? But
Westerns.
yeah, well, that's the new hot. But yeah, it's I don't know. I think there's just something really watchable and likable about this movie, and I like that. I know that's not the most artistic thing to say.
So I hadn't seen it in years. It must be probably 20, 25 years since I watched it. And it was still, I immediately just liked it. As soon as it came on, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is good. And we're introduced to the characters in a reasonably sensible way. You have Alex working at the trailer park. You get to see all of his neighbors come to watch him play video games, which is the most ridiculously kind of over the top twee community thing ever. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like
Capra
everybody,
crap.
Alex is going to break the high score.
What does that
This
mean?
60-year-old, this 60-year-old woman who probably doesn't even know what a video game is. Even I'd say 60-year-olds now wouldn't know what a video game is. Some people. Uh, I doubt my mother would know what a video game is. Or, well, she would know of them, but
Yeah.
she wouldn't. I don't think she would want to gather around and watch somebody play a video game.
And she wouldn't know about like From Software or any of the great
No.
creators and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. And then, but it's 20 minutes until he goes into space. So you get to meet everybody, you understand his life.
Which
You
sets up the beta unit plot quite well because you've got the status quo already kind of established where it's okay, this is Alex, this is his girlfriend, this is his brother, this is his mother, these are the supporting players. And then they do the switcheroo, and then it's like, okay, now I'm Alex. I need to interact with these people and have tongue stuck in my ear, or do I need to do some tongue sticking? I'm not too sure about that. I'll have
what
to
did
ask.
what did he try on Maggie when she's like you and your weird sexual perversions? What did he try on her when she slapped
Who knows?
Alex and she slapped and then his little brother is Playboys. He's like, shut up or I'll tell mom about your Playboys. That just made me at first I thought they were Alex's. I thought the little brother was going through.
Yeah, that's what I assumed as well. I was assuming that he knew where his brother kept his stash, and
Yeah.
he was just under the cover of darkness going and sneaking a peek. But no, apparently they're the 10-year-olds playboys.
But the way that they portray Alex, Playboys wouldn't have worked for him. Like he's not a Playboy guy. He's a
No.
very they cast Aladdin's Guest because they figured he was very Jimmy Stewart esque. And you
Yeah,
know what's
he's
interesting too?
very earnest. Earnest people don't look at Playboy.
Yeah, no, he's too busy fixing the electrical stuff and plumbing and toilets.
And applying for loans so he can go and make the world a better place through his education.
I guess it's a real thing, but it is kind of always annoying when a dude has like the coolest girlfriend, obviously written by a dude on the planet. He's like, I just got to get out of here. I'm like, bro, it's not that
Yeah,
bad. You
he
live in
does not deserve
California.
her.
Yeah, exactly. Like you live in California. Like, you're not just drive south, drive north a little bit. Like you have a lot of cities around you. Like it's not, you can do it. Like you can make it happen. But
And
yeah, but
then at the end, he just takes her off into space with him. Yeah, I'm going off on my starfighter now.
yeah, he doesn't really give
See
her much
you.
of a
Goodbye,
choice.
family. It's just like, oh, I do this now. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, bye, Alex.
And then he disappears, and then his brother goes to play the video game. But yeah, I mean, I think the girlfriend does what she can with the role. But yeah, she's definitely a product of a dude writing a script, and she's just readily available and super supportive for
Yeah.
him. He's kind of a wiener in the beginning. He becomes much more likable as the movie goes on, which made me happy because
Well, he got a bit of confidence and
yeah,
he kind of saw, I guess he saw his life from the outside with the beta unit
oh yeah,
and realized, oh, okay, these people do actually care about me a bit, and maybe I was being a bit of a dick to them.
like his friends are cool, and then he's just dogging on him when they went to pick him up to take him to the lake. Like he's just giving him crap. It's like, come on, Alex. But I think you need that though. I mean, if you like, let's say you're Niall, and you're Alex, but you're a millionaire, and you drive a Ferrari. You have a girlfriend who's like totally cool. Your parents are nice. You're the star football player, and then you get sucked into space. You're gonna be like, send me home. Like I don't want to
Yeah, it's
live
like
up here.
I want to go back to my previous life. Thank you.
I have a football game on Friday. Get me home. Like, why am I fighting your war? So you can't have a guy who's
Yeah, you can't have someone who has comfort
yeah.
and who is going to be like, no, I'm quite happy with my life. I don't need to risk my life to save all of yours. Um,
That'd be funny if
which
she fell
is
in love with the
something
beta
quite
unit.
That would have been quite funny. That'd be a
Sorry, I'll let you
twist.
finish your statement.
That would have been interesting. Alex turns up back and it's like, oh, she talks to what's his face? I can't remember his name. Centurion, was it?
Yeah,
Or
Centauri.
Centauri. Talk to Centauri, be like, so have you got another one of those beta units?
Alex goes, "Hey,
Like, I liked him better.
yeah, if the beta survived, he didn't blow himself up without rolling out the car. That'd be funny if he had his arm around her when he lands on Earth. He's like, "Do you want to come with me?"
Mm.
And no.
Nah, I'm good with him actually.
And everyone's like, "We love this guy. Get out of here."
Yeah, you go do space stuff. We'll keep him. He's nicer than you anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't complain all the time about that. But I do think it's a credit to the script. He does start off as that stereotypical guy, but the relationship with Greg, the beta unit, he becomes a much more likable character towards the end. And the fact that he
Well,
wants to
yeah.
go home, like he legitimately is like, no, I'm going back because he sees a
Well,
guy
yeah,
melt.
that's not what you typically get.
Yeah.
If you look at Galaxy Quest, Tim Allen was straight into it. He's like, "Oh, okay, right, I'm hungover. What are we doing? Okay, let's just go. Right, let's blow that guy up. Give me my money."
Perhaps I'm not as dumb as I am ugly. I love Galaxy Quest. But
And
yeah,
I reckon like some of the aliens, the evil aliens, they would not have looked out of place among the villains in Galaxy Quest, but they could be in the same universe.
yeah.
And for some reason, all the alien species just seem to recruit people randomly from Earth to come and fight their wars.
We watched the
It's like,
TV show, Come Fight For Us.
yeah,
And
it's like, oh, you're good at video games, okay? You can be in our war. You guys are on a TV show. Yeah, we'll have you. What would
it,
be the 2026 version?
of Call of Duty, God of War. What are the big games now? Mario Kart. Let's say God of War.
Hmm.
Would that
You
work?
are the god of war.
Like, and then you just get a big helmet put on you and you're killed immediately.
Yeah,
That'd be
because it turns out you are just a normal human with no special abilities.
an axe at you and you're just missed
Yeah,
after
it's
that.
just like, yeah, and I'm dead.
Yeah, and I will say what this movie does though, it does walk a fine line of likable Capra-esque stuff. Because sometimes movies go the Capra angle where everything is so earnest and all the locals are so nice. And it's just a world of artifice. Like that movie Larry Crown. I think they wanted it to be that like that. And it's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life. So I think when you go that angle of he even said it. What's the quote from the comment? Let me find the quote from the commentary. Very good commentary, by the way. But he goes, let's see. I need to find it. Where's the? Oh, he called it Teenage Mary Stewart. Schmaltzy, corny world is what Castle called it. But they do it well. It
Yeah,
it's
and I
yeah.
liked the structure of the whole thing as well, where you've got this nice corny world, and then even when he's in space, he had a tutorial mission where he learned how to fire the guns.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now I'm going to put these things. Those are your levers. You can use them to shoot. And it was structured almost like the tutorial of a video game. It's like, now you've got live targets. Go, Starfighter, go.
This is okay. It's an A B C D E F G script, but that's what makes it so tight. You have the blossom that they talk about in the beginning. Don't touch that button. And then the tutorial, he goes, "Oh, this is just like the game. Yes, it's just like the game." And then the guy picks him up because he did good on the game, but then he wants to go home. But then he has to go back because assassins are trying to kill him. And like it's like it's a very
I mean,
ABCD.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Yes, yes.
it's he has gone and seen someone's face melt. He's decided, no, this is not for me. I will go home now, like a reasonable person would. And then when he gets home, it turns out there's was it an interstellar
Hit beast.
heat beast after him, who the human form is played by Mark Alamo, who's a Star Trek DS9 alumni. He played the major villain in that series.
Nice.
Um, and so at no point did it seem like any of the decisions that he made, except for the first one where he's just like, okay, old man, I'm just going to get in your
Yeah.
car and go driving with you.
Yeah, never jump in a
But
space
but
limo, people.
but outside of that initial decision, which was a very poor one, if you're listening, don't get into strange limos with strange men who pull up in the middle of the night when nobody else is around. That is a bad idea.
Even if it's the Music Man, do not go in the vehicle.
So that was a poor choice, but all of his other choices were rational
Yeah.
based on the situation that the script had put him in. It's like, okay, you've gone to space, you're very confused. You don't know what anyone's saying. They're giving you a translator. Like, okay, now I can talk.
I
What the
love
hell is going on?
And I love that no one speaks English in the beginning. He shows up,
Yeah.
has no idea what anyone's saying. Like, here's a translator. In the commentary, they said that that was kind of lazy, but it's smart. That's a smart move, and I love it.
So they have that, and then he meets some people, and they're like, "Oh, we're all super starfighters," and he's like, "You're a what? I'm just like a dude. Can I go home now? This is weird." And then a guy gets his face melted. He's like, "Yeah, definitely want to go home." So then gets taken home. Turns out there are hit beasts after him. And then he's like, well, I guess I do need to go and be a starfighter then if there's going to be hit beasts coming after me.
Because you don't want to put your family in danger. And then he knows the game already. They play hide and seek. They even tell I
Yeah.
used to play hide and seek in the mines. They do a conversation about homes. I live in a cave that moves, but we don't move. Actually, I used to play hide and seek with my brother in a cave. Oh, hey, hide and seek. It's very ABC 1, 2, 3, but it's smart. It's a smart. There's what's interesting, Niall. We're talking about ABC 1, 2, 3 scripts, but there's not many of them. It,
No.
it seems really hard to write something this straightforward that makes sense. So
It's difficult to do. I think it's difficult to do the simplicity right without it seeming dumbed down. I think that's the issue. Because you
yeah,
can run into cases where you just have this A, B, C, D, E, F, and there's no you just don't care. And it
yeah.
just seems a bit dumb. And it's just like, oh. Whereas this, I think, falls on the right side of that line where it's no, this makes sense. This within the movie, the world that this movie is presented, this all makes perfect sense to me.
It does. That's what I love. It does. And I love the villains too. The guy's just like a Nepo guy whose dad is
And
rich.
for some reason, he has to have the most obnoxiously evil looking scepter possible.
He needs a scepter. And
I
his
must have
dad
a
doesn't want him
scepter
back.
with
Yeah.
a sword attached to the top so I can stab people.
Even the antagonists don't like him.
He,
He's
he's
not
just
like.
a he's just a nepo baby who's gone over to. It would be like if Baron Trump went off with Putin and just joined up with him, and nobody actually liked him, but he was getting trolled out in front of cameras and stuff as our new blue-eyed boy who's come to save the world.
Oh man, yeah, they're all annoyed from the jump. They're annoyed by him.
Like, why do I have to listen to this guy?
Yeah, they're not even important. The Kodan group. They're just
No,
or the Kodan command ship. Like it's not. They're not really that even. They're not even that much of villains. They're not scary. They're almost funny because they hate the guy so much. They hate what Zur a
they're
lot.
just at work.
And they got some guy flip sides and is telling them what to do with scepters. Yeah, this is a good, even though it features the classic kid gets. Well, this whole idea came from Excalibur, and then like sword out of the stone, a kid
Well,
pulls
they
a
they
sword,
they
and then
even
video games at the
they
time.
even referenced it.
Yeah, they
So it
do.
wasn't the first time Centauri had done it. Apparently, they said it's like you didn't do that Excalibur trick again, did you? So I think he's been trolling Earth for centuries. Just been like, right, I need another soldier guy. All right, let me go down there, find some dude. I will hand out a sword from a woman in the lake, which, as you will know, is a great method for determining means of government.
Yeah, watery tart.
Yeah.
What? You took a sword from a watery tart? Isn't that what the line is?
I don't remember,
And they're
but
just
I just
slapping
remember
mud
the
the whole
follow-up. It
time.
was like taking swords from women in lakes is no means for a system of government.
Help, help, I'm being repressed. So he's done it before and probably failed. And then
And
yeah.
then he said he wanted to have the thing in Vegas, I guess. So the machine was supposed to be delivered to Vegas, but it ended up at this trailer park.
That must be a heck of a unit too, because if it ever rains or dust, like that probably gets a lot of sandstorms and strong winds that take sand. So that is a well-made video game system. And they wanted to market it, but it was too expensive, and the movie didn't do that well. So they never unleashed them on the world because it was like $10,000 for one of the units. So they
I think
never.
somebody could easily make it now. You
Oh
could
yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
probably just spin up Claude and get it done this afternoon.
Even the villains weren't that into it. All the pilots die. You have the Blossom. Yeah, it's the Blossom, and then it's like, and then it just spins and kills people. But the guy's good at shooting people, and Greg is.
And
I
Greg
love.
is a good pilot.
Yeah,
Like
Greg is smart and he's funny. Like he has a wife and he takes selfies and he's just cracking jokes. Like he's just some iguana.
he reminds me a bit of Worf from the Star Trek things. It's like, oh, perhaps today is a good day to die.
There's some good line. What are you worried about, Greg? Theoretically, we should be already dead. Like I love that line. Like that's actually a pretty good line. And like death is a primitive concept. I prefer to think of them as battling evil in another dimension. I don't know. I love that. And he's like, Alex, I want you to know that it was for the greatest good that I brought you back. Of course, it never hurts to be rich. It's kind of funny. Just and like the plot is simple too. They just have to take out the communication turret.
Yeah, it's you need to cut communications to cut off the rest of the ships and then blow stuff up.
I'm about to get killed a million miles from nowhere with a gung ho iguana who tells me to relax. This is good. The script is good and it's funny. And you actually know the characters' names. Like I like the beta robot too. I think he probably could have rolled out of the car, but whatever. But yeah, this is and it's a short movie. It's under 90, like it's in the 90 minutes with the
It's
credits.
what 196, I think, or
And then it's like what 3 minutes of credits and then the final credits. So it's
101.
101.
According to Apple right now,
Yeah.
where which is where I watched it.
I mean, just fast forward for the first 3 minutes, take out the credits. That's about 7 minutes. You have a super short movie. And even the beginning when they filmed the trailer park
And
in California, like the
about
cat
the
in the
credits though,
mailbox.
the soundtrack works as well.
Oh
The kind of
man.
orchestral score, it bangs.
Yeah. What's funny? I really avoid like current slang, but I was about to go at rips. I don't even know if that's popular or not. Like that was actually popular in the
We're
night.
probably
Your
10
pool,
years.
yeah.
We're probably 10 years behind that already.
But like your pool rips. Like, but yeah, like that's the soundtrack really does rip. And even in the beginning, when there's the cat in the mailbox and there's the dog sleeping outside the door, and just the way they establish the tiered system of the trailer park and how you walk through it, they create an interesting environment in the first few minutes of this. And of course, you have the great lines from the 90s, like diarrhea. Oh, and I love a precocious brother too. But like, this is a good precocious brother who actually liked his brother.
Who does not get phased by his brother robot taking his head off for maintenance. And just like, you're having a bad dream. Like, am I? No, it seems like you're a robot.
Just, and I will say, this movie has taken over the spot and my number one spot for movies that feature flashing lights and button pushing. So
Oh,
Top Gun
interesting.
Maverick was number one. There are so many extras in this film, just pressing buttons and looking at things. If you just stop when he arrives at the base, when Centauri brings him there, there's just people looking at random blinking lights and pressing them. I'm like, what does that do? And then it makes me think of Austin Powers. Hey, you henchmen, arbitrarily turning knobs. Like there's so much arbitrary button pushing in
Or
this.
Avengers. It's like, that man's playing Galaga.
Oh man, I use that line with my students whenever they're looking at their phones and they shouldn't be. I'm like, "Are you playing Angry Birds?" Like, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "You're playing Angry Birds." I'm like, no, I couldn't use
Nobody
that.
plays Angry Birds anymore, Mark.
But that's the funny bit. And then they're like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "Oh, you're playing Angry Birds." Like, get off. And it's become like a joke, I guess, with all my students. Like, I'm playing Angry Birds again. And there's so many flashing lights. There's so much button pushing. And when they go into it's the Blossom, yeah.
Oh, and you had to have the other thing, which I thought was very important. You had to have the slow-moving sci-fi conveyor belt where he first arrives and he's just on this conveyor belt while people are having a lucky loo at him, and then we're like, okay, here's your uniform, and then we move on
Yes.
to the next thing.
Yeah.
Which straight out of Austin Powers as well. I guess Austin Powers was later, but
Yeah.
where he initially defreezes and it's like you just move along this slow-moving conveyor belt. It's like we've got this stage and the evacuation stage, and
We need a really long peeing scene.
then
But I don't know. There's no big themes in this movie. This is it's interesting talking about this where it was I had a good time talking about ice pirates with you about how they just didn't care anymore. And then I had a good time with Flash Gordon about how the budget was big and how Sam Jones left the production, how they just ran out of time, so they didn't have a lot of scenes to cut. This one, it's interesting in that, even the Star Trek, okay, it's the same pattern where you have a good Star Trek film had time and a finished script. So like this one had a finished script, yeah, and it did well. There's nothing artistic about that. I don't know, and I think it's doing well. Like I think the IMDb score is really high. Let me look that up.
It's a 6.7
That's
on
good.
IMDb, which
Like,
is
oh,
that's
sorry.
good.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes is 76. So I mean, this movie is generally liked because it's just an amiable little thing. I think Ebert knocked it a little bit for not being that original, but I don't know. I still think it's 3.2 on Letterboxd. That's actually not bad. But I mean, not every movie needs to be original. The world needs TBS movies. The world needs airplane movies. The world needs,
Sometimes you need comfort food movies.
yeah. Like I
You
don't
need movies that you can just put on where you don't need to really pay attention and just enjoy.
that's why the Ant-Man movies, if we're talking about sci-fi or anything, that's why they're kind of comfort, the first two, because they harken back to that 80s vibe, 90s vibe of just being funny to watch and like having a good time. So those are the ones like, I think this movie is just a successful film that exists because of Star Wars and the arc. It's a cynical film because it's a Star Wars kind of thing, Star
And
Trek, video games,
but at
but
the
it's
same
good.
time, it is kind of it's an original premise, at least
Yeah.
the video game thing that was original at the time. Unlikely hero thrown in spaceship to fight aliens is not that original. Having it kind of fixed with this Earth narrative and having that whole kind of trailer park and a slightly different feeling than what we'd had in some of the movies at the time. It just works. It's
You know,
it's
that
it's
could
one of those. It's difficult. It's difficult to talk about compared to some other movies because the script is tight. There's no point going on about the effects. We know they didn't have money or time. It's fun to watch.
that should be the DVD. It's fun to watch. And what was the first thing you said? It just works.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it just works. And it's like in 84 you have Repo Man, which is an incredible cult classic. That's an amazing movie. Night of the Comet, really excellent cult classic. And with also Mary Stewart in it as well. She's awesome in that movie. So you have these cool cult classics, but then like this one did pretty good. It wasn't a huge success, but it wasn't not. And then it had a good life on cable. So it's just like it just works. Just works. And the world needs it just works movies.
yeah, for sure. Because these days you don't really get these kind of middle of the road movies. It's either bargain basement Netflix slop that is probably being written by AI these days, or you get the ultra turbo high budget, massive tentpole movies. And then you still get what would be regarded as cinema, kind of in between with the more arty kind of, your typical kind of character driven narratives.
Yeah.
But if I was hungover, I'm not going to put on something with heavy character development and things like that. I'll put on Galaxy Quest. I'll put on something like The
Yes.
Last Starfighter. I'll put on these movies where they're fun and they'll cheer you up by you watching them.
And you know what? Ice Pirates we had a good time with, but I don't know if that's a hangover movie because it's just such a mess. Like it's
Yeah, I think it
fun.
might exacerbate things
Yeah.
because you're just like, what? Why? What is going? No, this is silly.
But I hate on it, but that ending is incredible where they all get older. That's a really good bit.
That's what makes the movie for me. That
Yeah.
whole sequence is just brilliant. I often think about just that sequence.
I just was reminded of it and put a huge smile on my face. But I don't know. I wish I had something better for you, Niall, but it just works. This movie just works.
And that's about it.
Well, thanks, Niall.
Very, very, very succinct. And we could have left after 5 minutes and I'd come up with that at the start. Maybe it just works, right? We don't need to say anything else.
Yeah, there's no themes. We talked about
No,
how the
I don't
girlfriend's
think
the
there
stock
are.
girlfriend, but like
I
she's
don't
still
think there
good.
are any themes at all in it. It's just plot.
Play video games.
Play video games, shoot space aliens.
That you don't think? Okay, all right, think about this. Evolution, no themes. Knight's Tale, really no themes. Like you could rise above, but not even. It's just fun. So like I think the most rewatchable movies are just ones that are theme light. Nobody really dies. No one really
Well,
dies in this.
except the guy gets his face melted.
Yeah, and Beta Alex.
But that's heroic.
Yeah, that's heroic. I think that's the perfect Cable movie where it's just no themes, not a lot of death, not a lot of drama, just plot and funny.
You sold it.
It just works.
You can go and share that with your students in your next lecture. Be like, look, I've rethought everything. Here is the perfect structure for movie. Plot. That's it. No themes.
You don't need it.
I don't know how well that would go down.
Yeah. But like, and there's no unnecessary drama in this either. We on Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, we talked about a movie called Blackwater Abyss. It's a sequel to a movie called Blackwater. But 5 people they're like, oh, we're gonna go exploring this unidentified cave where 2 tourists fell in and disappeared. Like, oh, okay,
that
cool.
Sounds like a poor choice.
Poor choice. And then a huge storm comes, floods them, and then there's a crocodile in there. That's a lot of drama.
Of course, there's a crocodile in there.
But let's add some things. There's a guy in there who has an inhaler because he has asthma, but he also just finished chemo treatments. Then you find out that his girlfriend is pregnant. And there's another couple, and it turns out that the girl who's pregnant got pregnant from the guy in the other couple who's with another woman.
That's a lot of noise.
Yes. And you don't
very
need
little
it.
Signal.
There's no noise in this movie. there's nothing. Nothing at all. And I like that.
I mean, they could have had perfect girlfriend hooking up with one of the other guys when Alex didn't go to the lake.
Yeah. He gets a little jealous. I don't like that scene.
At least hinting at that.
He gets very jealous at one bit. I was like, you're kind of being a punk. But my only complaint is him in the beginning. I was like, if I have to be stuck with this guy for the rest of the film, but then when Beta comes up, and then he gets with Greg, then I'm like, okay, he's maturing. He gets it. But I mean, sometimes you do need
to have a good straight man.
Yeah. Sometimes you do need to travel or get out of town to kind of get out stuck of, not be stuck in this like cynical area where just like, oh, this is miserable. I want out of here.
There's your theme right there.
Crap. But then he leaves again. But then he leaves.
So he went on a journey of discovery and discovered that he likes being on the journey. It's the most pompous thing I've said today.
Oh, we need that sticker for MFF. I got to remember that. That would be a good sticker. It just works in that. Niall, you came up with some all-timers in this episode. Anything else?
No, I think no, we're good.
It just worked. Where can people find you, Niall?
I am at El Nilo on various social things.
All right. Well, it just works. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Niall Moore, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.